I'd like to go to the screen here, please. I want to show you on the screen a miraculous answer to prayer. This story that I'm going to tell you now happened just 6 weeks, 7 weeks ago. This is Nigeria. I was preparing to hold a large evangelistic meeting in this stadium. 7,000 to 8,000 people came a night. All around this stadium is a village known for its witchcraft. As we came to the stadium every night, packed with people to know God, one night, 6 o'clock, I walked into the stadium. Something strange was happening. I had never seen anything like it before. Dark clouds came in over the stadium at 6 o'clock at night. As I looked up, the wind began to blow, and we had huge screens. You see one of the screens there in the upper portion of the picture right here. These screens are like 16 feet high, 24 feet wide. There were 5 of them all over this stadium. I stood and I saw the dark clouds come in. It had been beautiful all day. The wind began to blow. It ripped the first screen apart, the second screen apart, the third screen apart. Before my eyes, 5 screens were ripped apart. Pretty soon, it was thundering and lightning. The chairs were blowing everywhere. People were running and screaming underneath the stadium trying to hide. Look at what happened. These chairs were blown right over the stadium walls. Here, our auditorium, our stadium was absolutely devastated. Look at the stadium. Devastated. The platform devastated. Look, here, you see, left-hand side, way up on the left-hand side. This was the frame of a screen. Here's another screen here. Here's another screen torn apart, platform torn apart. As the rains came, as the winds came that night that I was there, we get on our knees, we said, God, hold the winds back. But they weren't held back. They came. They devastated everything. Some people who were involved in kinds of witchcraft said, where is your God now? Where is your God now? Your God has no power. Your God can't keep the winds and rains away. Look at those people praying in the mud. Look at them kneeling down in the rain. Nothing is happening. There is no power in God. Chairs devastated. Auditorium devastated. Here's one of our screens. Look at it. Devastated. Here's our platform. The wind was so strong. Look at that bar, upper left. The wind just bent that bar right down. Everything was in turmoil. Our staff came out. We looked at the screens. We said, what can we do? How can we repair these even for tomorrow night? That night, I said to my staff, I have to talk to this audience. People are huddled under cement overhangs of the stadium. People are trying to get out of this fierce storm that came through. I said, I have to speak to the people. They said, Pastor Mark, every cable is under 3 inches of water. You can't speak to them. Not possible. But they said, if you are willing to come inside the control room, put a headphone on, you can talk to the people because we'll use the speakers that are on the stadium. I came in and I talked to them about unanswered prayer. I said, you know, there are times that God does not answer our prayers, and some of you are wondering, why hasn't God answered? Does it take more faith to have your prayers answered, or does it take more faith to have your prayers not answered? And I said, I know God. I've walked with God for 40 years. God's preparing to do something great and dramatic in this series. And if the Lord allows this storm to devastate the stadium tonight, it's because He wants to make His power and His grace even more apparent. Because it's rained tonight, because we've had an apparent defeat tonight, doesn't mean that we have a defeat at all. It means that we believe by faith that God is going to move powerfully tomorrow night. He's going to move powerfully the next night. He is going to manifest His hand in this meeting. After talking to the audience, we prayed, and that night I went home. And as I knelt down in my little room, I said, God, I've walked with you for 40 years. I've seen you work miracles in Moscow, in the former Soviet Union. I've seen you work miracles in India and Pakistan and India and South America. I've seen you, God, work miracles throughout Africa, throughout North America. God, you do not have to keep the rain back for me to believe in you. You don't have to give me a sign, God, because I've had signs all my life. I've seen your power. But God, the people's faith here is so fragile. The people's faith here is so weak, Lord. And I know that many people are practicing witchcraft and satanic occult arts. Lord, manifest your hand, and tomorrow night give us a clear night. The next night, I went to the stadium. And as I went to the stadium that night, 6 o'clock, I want you to see what I saw. This was the second night. The dark clouds came over the stadium. Gentle rain began to fall. I saw a repeat of what was happening the night before as one of our screens was devastated. We called our prayer warriors. We got on our knees and we cried out to God in the rain and in the mud. We said, God, manifest your hand. Now you're going to see a miracle. I want you to see the center of the picture. Do you see the center of the picture? I had people photographing this as we prayed, as it happened. You see the center of the picture here? What is this? It's a white cloud. This white cloud came over the stadium. It poured and rained in every village around the stadium. The wind devastated all around the stadium. This white cloud got bigger and bigger and bigger in a matter of 10 minutes. And as it did, here, look, you see, this is what I saw in the stadium. But this white cloud hovered over the stadium. It protected the stadium. We did not get a drop of rain. Not a drop of rain. All around the stadium, it was pitch black. But that white cloud hovered over that stadium for 2 hours. At the end of my preaching, it moved and it rained. God is a mighty God. God is a mighty God.